All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I'm testing if I can count backward. 4, 3, 2, 1. I made it. Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope you're having a great day. Can everybody hear me? Please let me know if everything sounds okay and is okay. And once you let me know if everything is okay and sounds okay, we can start talking about what we want to start talking about today. All right, everybody. All right, mate. I wonder if I can pass as British. I probably can't. Can I pass as British? What do you think?
Yeah. I'm saying this only.
Come on. I'm trying to set up everything here so I don't mess it up during the live stream. Let me see. Let me check out. Let me check my chat out. Okay, everything seems fine. Wonderful, fantastic. Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. How are you doing? So, I believe David Wood is still live over there. I didn't want to go live while David Wood is live because we kind of have this big overlap of our audiences, but he didn't want to go offline, so I'll just start. Well, anyway, today I want to go through a video, a stream by Mufti Abu Layth. I was made aware that Mufti Abu Layth talked about me in one of his recent streams, in one of his Monday nights with Mufti Abu Layth. I watch that guy sometimes. Sometimes I just tune in and I check out what he says. I listen to his laughter. I find it quite humorous, quite funny, quite interesting. I don't really listen to very much on his rulings on Islam and all that stuff, but I kind of support his cause of being a different Muslim authority, a mufti. He's a mufti. I believe he's officially a mufti. A mufti, by the way, is somebody who is an authority in Islamic matters, who is an authority in Islamic jurisprudence. And so a mufti is somebody who can issue fatwas, which are rulings that may or may not be binding within the Islamic community and within Islamic countries. It is not as much important and authoritative today as it was in the past, because Muslim societies are very much divided, and there is no single Islamic authority anymore. But yeah, that's what he apparently is. As said, I don't know if he is officially a mufti or if he just calls himself so. I believe he is officially a mufti if he says that he's a mufti. But yeah, so he made a response to me. Not a response to me. He said a few words about me, for 20 or 30 minutes. He talked about me in relation to my conversation with Mohammed Hijab, which I had recently. And I kind of looked a little bit into it. I, skimmed through it, and I thought, what the hell, man? What are you talking about? So I thought I should respond to this live. I haven't completely watched it through. So we will do that right now. I am at this moment not wanting to publish my normal, regular videos because my channel is currently being dislike bombed because of my Quran ripping video. So millions of people are coming in and watching my videos. Not watching my videos, I'm sorry. Millions of people are coming in and just clicking the video and just leaving a dislike and leaving. And it doesn't matter. If they dislike my video, it actually gives my video engagement, which means my video is pushed on YouTube. But I don't want to look at those dislike bars. It makes me sad. Please, Muslims, don't dislike my videos. Please don't do this. Please, Muslims, I'm your teacher, boy. Okay. I'm not your teacher. That was just a mockery of another guy who thinks he's everyone's teacher. Okay, so let's see how can this be arranged. I will start playing this, and I would appreciate it very much if you could tell me if the sound is okay and if you can hear everything right. Please let me know.
Well, I do in sometimes. I do.
Can you hear this?
A lot of the times, and sometimes I do Southern. There is weird. Right, so people
Can you hear this? Does it sound good? I have never done this before. I'm doing this with a different platform right now, so Somebody said sound is okay. Yeah, sound is clear. Okay, wonderful. Perfect. That's amazing. Amazing. See, if everything works like this, if these technical things work like this, and if I don't have any technical issues, then everything is fantastic. But so often I sit down and I have like billions of technical problems. Fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, let me start without much ado.
There is weird. Right.
Okay. So I want to listen to what he says, and I will respond to him step by step. Let's be ready.
Right, so people, let's move on to the Masala segment. All right. So those of you that are familiar with this is Apus, right? Now, he's had a recent debate.
Dear Mufti Abu Layth, dear Mufti. What is this? What is this? Why are you calling me Apus? I'm genuinely not sure right now whether he knows why some people say Apus, but this is something that Muhammad Hijab's fans recently made up, in which they started calling me Apus instead of apostate prophet, which is supposed to be insulting to me because they say I'm a pusillanimous, which is a word that Muhammad Hijab made up because he cannot say pussy, and he wants to say pusillanimous instead. And he called me apostate puss, in short for pusillanimous, supposedly, but actually it's for pussy. And he's not supposed to say that as a good religious Muslim, but he does anyway. He's tricking Allah, basically, while he's tricking all of us. And Mufti Abu Layth kind of listened to those people and called me a puss too. I don't know if he's doing that while he's aware of what he's saying, or if he thinks that this is actually a nickname that I use. But I should actually own that. I should actually start using Apus. It doesn't sound too bad. Okay, wait, let's go on.
With Muhammad Hijab. And, the build up to this debate as well. Those of you that remember from last week, there was the incident of David Wood ripping up the Quran. But then you had an incident with
this works.
Apus
telling me that I should be executed.
Ripping up the Quran himself.
Is this worse? Is ripping this apart work?
Now
that was so refreshing, by the way. I felt so much pleasure ripping up the Quran. I'm sorry, yeah, I felt so much pleasure because you're an ex-Muslim, you're indoctrinated your entire life, you're taught so much hate, so much awful stuff, so much stupidity that is put into your brain, into your mind, and then you are filled with fear against this for this book, and you cannot scrutinize it, you cannot do anything against it, but then you are finally here as a free ex-Muslim and you just rip the book apart. And also, just to make a point, is this worse than saying I should be killed? Man, you cannot understand how amazing it felt. I encourage every ex-Muslim out there to try it.
You see, so what this happens, and then surprisingly, there is a debate that is hosted by Adam Saleh and Slim. They host this debate where they get, I'm surprised they actually agreed to it, but they get Apus, apostate prophet, and they get Muhammad Hijab. And
I don't think he knows what was going on because that wasn't an agreed debate. So,
to be fair, I was actually quite surprised by this discussion. Now, I disagree on many things with Muhammad Hijab, and I don't like his approach. Usually, it's a very kind of he has like a bullying approach. Sometimes he wants to be quite forceful.
That's very mildly put. Muhammad Hijab has kind of a bully approach, which is why he doesn't agree with him. Excuse me. Muhammad Hijab is somebody who threatens people, who incites targeted harassment against people, who makes veiled rape imagery and rape threats against people, who sexually harasses and abuses people everywhere online, who texts people very weird stuff. I can't say more about this, but he has been texting to people recently too. He's attacking my wife sexually because he wants to get to me, where he could just talk to me instead, but instead he starts sexually harassing my wife. So bullying, little problems, little disagreements. Are you kidding me? Dear Mufti Abu Layth, you should really look into what actually happened there.
And stuff like that. But I have to say, in this debate, he was quite very surprising. He annihilated Apis. Seriously, I mean, Apis was I don't get it, because he's never prepared, which is just one simple solution. He really genuinely does not know like, he's not clued up. That's the only thing that one has to understand. So this debate covers a bunch of things. Here's a small extract from it.
So
is this worse?
No.
Without going further ahead, he's saying that I'm never prepared and I wasn't prepared for the debate. I have to say this, dear Mufti Abu Layth. I know you will see this because it contains your name. I have to say this. I don't think you know what you've watched, because that was not a debate. Of course I wasn't prepared, because I wasn't supposed to be prepared, because it was not an agreed debate. It was not a debate. They tricked me into that conversation. They tricked me into this discussion. I was invited by Adam Saleh and his friend Slim, who a week ago told their own followers that they don't want me on their podcast because I could manipulate their viewers into thinking my ways and could make their viewers doubt Islam. That's what they said. And then they suddenly invited me on their channel, on their podcast. I asked who, just you and Slim? And Adam Saleh said yes. Then I arrived there, and 10 minutes into it, Muhammad Hijab appeared, after, for an entire month, running from me and rejecting an online debate, because he doesn't want to debate me. He doesn't want to waste time with me. He doesn't want to have an online debate. He only wants to have an in-person debate in London. And that person suddenly makes this huge plot with these people, arranges a plot, a scheme, and traps me onto their podcast and wants to suddenly attack me, while his two very dumb friends never let me talk, and he himself just speaks over me and ends every topic that I have opened by saying, okay, we are done. You have clearly been refuted. And also, Muhammad Hijab is the individual who sexually harassed and incited harassment against my wife, said disgusting, awful things. And I didn't have any plan to talk to him anymore. So naturally, at the beginning, I spent like 20 to 30 minutes just saying, I will not talk to you. You are a disgusting scumbag, a piece of filth. I will not talk to you. So that's how it actually happened. This was not an agreed debate. I have no idea what you have watched, but I am pretty sure that Mufti Abu Layth didn't actually watch the debate. He didn't actually watch the whole stream. To be fair, I myself was the first person who called this a debate, and I called it a debate when I uploaded the footage on my own channel, and I did that for a very specific reason. I did that because these people tricked me into that conversation. I then kept going because I thought, okay, come on, I will not leave. Let's see what happens here. And I wanted to basically provoke some questions so that I can make a bigger video called "The End of Muhammad Hijab" later on. And I'm working on that. I'm kind of taking a break from the whole Muhammad Hijab story right now because I'm tired, to be very honest. But that's what all of this was for. And what was I saying? Yeah, I was the first person who called it a debate. I uploaded it as debate because I wanted people to come on my channel and get it there instead. And I also called it a debate and then started, attacking Muhammad Hijab's points over that video, because they did the same thing to me with Daniel Hikikuchu, where I had a discussion with Daniel Hikikuchu. It was not a debate, and then they went on saying we had a debate and I just won the debate. So I wanted to basically apply their tricks to them, and I did. So, to be fair, yeah, I was the first person to call it a debate, but that was not a debate. That was a plot against me. And I am still here as the only person who says, hey, Muhammad Hijab, let us sit down and have a debate, have a one-on-one debate. Let us talk about whether Islam is the truth, if you can. And Muhammad Hijab has run from that for an entire month. And I'm not saying that he's scared of me. I'm saying he's scared of the topic, is Islam the truth? So that's what it looks like, dear Mufti Abu Layth. I don't think you know what's going on here.
Oh, right.
Dajjal with a small d.
It's not that one. No. Where's it gone?
I think he's playing videos from his buttons.
There's something that's called moral realism. What's more?
This is
are morals objectively real or not? Are they real or not? Are
person can have objective moral values, subjective moral values, relative moral values, and so on.
Are they objective or subjective?
What
In your view?
What? Say it again. I didn't listen to you.
Okay, my question to you is so simple. Like, my question to you is morality, is it objective or not? Are there such a thing as objective moral?
I don't think so.
So, okay, good. So therefore, all of your moral arguments have collapsed against Islam. So they all collapsed once.
They have not.
You've collapsed all your moral ones.
No, they have not.
Yeah, because everything that you say about Islam now, everything that you say about Islam now morally doesn't make sense.
Morality works.
Morally.
That's not how morality works. You do
That's
not.
morality works. So you yourself believe it's objective. It's not true. It's not objective.
A nihilist, for example,
You see, I can barely say anything, and his voice is much louder than my voice. That's basically how it
can be a
went all that.
nihilist insofar that he does not believe that there are natural moral values.
Nihilism is not synonymous with objectivity.
Interruption.
Right?
What are you talking about? A nihilist may believe that there are no.
Interruption.
It's not subjective. It's not synonymous. Nihilism is something which is.
Of course, it's not.
No, you're
Interruption.
an objectivist. If you're a subjectivist,
I am not.
you said you're not an objectivist. You must be a subjectivist. What are you then?
That's not.
No, stop pretending you. Stop
Wait.
I've studied that you have not.
Did you just say if I'm not an objectivist, then I must be a subjectivist? Is that
You have to be. If you're not, if you don't believe in objective morality, what are you laughing at?
if I don't believe in objective morality, then I have to believe in
I
subjective.
had to
No,
laugh.
it says that, though. What are you laughing at,
You've got two
man?
choices. What's the third option? Go on.
Thank you.
Bro, you're not even on A levels. Bro, I swear to God, wallahi, uqsum billah, you're.
It's so funny. Right at the beginning of this, I would go back, but I don't want to mess up the timeline right now. Right at the beginning of this, I actually said objectivism, subjectivism, and relativism, for example. And then we went ahead further, and I asked him, "Wait, do you just think there's objectivism and subjectivism?" And he said, "Yes. What's the third option?" And I laughed because I thought, because I did that same thing during this entire discussion. I did it at the beginning too. I asked him what he thinks about free speech, for example, and I asked him to define free speech. And I asked him, I said, "Do you think free speech means that you can say whatever you want and no one can be angry about it?" And he didn't answer the question properly. Then I asked him again, and he didn't answer it properly. I asked him again, and he didn't answer it properly. I did not then, in response, clarify what freedom of speech actually is about, which is just that you can say whatever you want and you should not fear censorship or retribution for that, but that you can just speak, but that it doesn't mean everybody has to listen to you and not be offended by you. I didn't clarify that. I just moved on because I said, okay, fine, I will respond to you in a video, because that was that's what this entire thing was about. For example, at the beginning of this discussion, he also said to me, "Give me your main argument why you don't believe in Islam." And I said, "No, I won't." And for the entire discussion, for 2 hours, I did not give him the main reasons why I don't believe in Islam. I did not give him my major arguments why I don't believe in Islam and why I reject Islam and why I counter Islam. Because from the beginning to the end, I kept saying, I will not argue with you here. I want to have a debate with you. If you want these questions from me, if you want these answers from me, sit down and have a debate with me. Let me speak for 15 minutes straight, and then and then you will respond for 15 minutes straight. That is how this is supposed to work. I will not sit here and make brief arguments with you and allow you to shout over me and then to tell to your audience that you have destroyed me and defeated me, because that is what you will do. And look, that is what he has done. This video that Mufti Abu Layth is watching here is a video that was published by Muhammad Hijab and his people. It's an excerpt that was published by those people. This is not a video that Mufti Abu Layth watched himself. He clearly didn't watch that whole discussion because he doesn't know that this was not a planned debate. He clearly doesn't know about that, for example. To the morality point, let's go on and I will clarify.
You're not even a C grade A level. You're not even a C grade. If I were to mark your work, bro, you're not a C grade.
That I've encountered in my
You're not on, bro. A year 10, year 11 in ethics can get a better understanding of it. I think a 16-year-old, a sharp 16-year-old, will see that you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, what is the other option? You've got objective morality. Objective morality. What's the third one?
2,000 years of moral
So
philosophy.
go on, say it. What's the third option? You've either got you have no answer. You've either got objective morality, subjective morality. What's the other one?
What is
What's
it?
the other one?
Do you think there is no other option besides objective?
Yeah. I'm saying it's either objective or subjective. What's the third one?
So you think there is only objective?
Oh my God.
What's the third one?
To say,
What are you laughing at? That's not an answer, bro.
I will make a video response to you because I think this will.
You don't make a video response. If it's not objective, it has to be subjective.
No, it's
You're
not.
gonna get laughed at. You know, cosmic skeptic, them guys, they're gonna laugh at you, bro. They're gonna associate with this idiot. All due respect, you have not level understanding of morality.
I have just asked you.
It's either objective or not. If it's not objective, it has to be subjective.
Look, I'm the person who originally asked him the question. I laughed. I said, okay, thank you. I will make a video about this. And I moved on and kept laughing. And then he came back to that question, started turning it around and asked me the question instead. And now he's acting like I don't know what I'm talking about, which is very weird. Why would I ask him the question so dramatically and so emphatically in the beginning to begin with if I don't know the topic myself? It doesn't really make sense. What is bad is that I kind of dragged this. I allowed him to make a show out of this. I shouldn't have. I should have just moved on.
There's no other option. What can it be? There's no crossover. There's no middle ground. It's either objective or not. That's why you got it all wrong. That's why your criticisms against Islam are flawed, because you don't even have a basic understanding of moral philosophy. You don't.
So,
and you can't pretend you do.
To the Muslim viewers who don't understand philosophy very well.
Dajjal with a small d.
Okay. So, let me see what Mufti relates to about that.
Many Dajjals, no problem. But there is one Dajjal with a big D, okay?
You see, look, guys, this debate is
that something that he actually published on his chat? What the hell? What? That's very strange. Wait, did we just jump somewhere? Yeah, that actually came after.
Dajjal with a small d. Or we can say mini Dajjals, no problem. But there is one Dajjal with a big D, okay?
Is this guy really a Mufti? Is this guy really a Mufti? That's very strange. So he's publishing a meme mockery of Yasser Qadhi, in which he refers to the one big Dajjal with a big D, capital D Dajjal, and the small Dajjals with small d, not capital Dajjals, and he okay,
look,
that's funny.
Guys, this debate was so embarrassing for Apos.
Why was it embarrassing? You didn't even watch
I have
it.
to say that, look, listen.
Go ahead.
Right now, being an atheist, if a person is to be an atheist, so somebody being an atheist, if they are an active atheist, they have to be involved in the realm of the philosophy of religion. They have to be people that are aware of discussions, theological philosophy, or just they have to be aware of this kind of stuff, even if they.
First off, I am number one, but number two, no, you don't have to be. That's a very strange thing. It's not like you if you are a Muslim, then you have to be completely aware of everything that is Islamic. Especially if you're an atheist, that doesn't mean that you are here to propagate and spread atheism, which means that you don't have to have a completely great grip on moral philosophy and the philosophy of religion, for example. That's a very strange proposition to make. But I really wonder where he's getting to, because there was no mistake. Mohammed Hijab and his little minions are still laughing about the fact that I said, so are there only subjectivism and objectivism? And then Mohammed Hijab said yes. And I said, yeah, that's very funny, because that's simply not true. That's a very small-minded view of moral philosophy. But go ahead.
They are not philosophers. They have to have arguments. They have to bring something to the table. Like, let's take it like Richard Dawkins. Now, he's not a philosopher, but he brings science to the table. He knows what morality is. He will know, like, he brings a very powerful dialogue and discussion to the table. Sam Harris is a genius. Although in recent years, I was a bit disappointed in how he'd become very bitter, but nobody can question his geniusness. Like he
Geniusness.
is somebody that is incredibly intelligent. He's very clued up. He understands philosophy, understands aspects of psychology, of neuroscience. He brings something to
I have
the
to speed
table
up.
and then discusses it, goes head to head, toe to toe against people of religion. You see, the problem.
I agree that Sam Harris is actually a very respectable thinker and a very respectable philosopher. I completely agree with that. He's also a scientist. I believe he's a neuroscientist, or I don't know, in one area of psychology or neuroscience. That's what I believe, if I'm not wrong. And I respect Sam Harris's opinions and his views on morality and life very much, although I don't really agree with him. But yeah, Sam Harris also does a completely different thing from what I do, and so does Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins is an evolutionary biologist, isn't he? Right? He does something. He's a scientist related to a field of biology and evolution, which is, how can you compare that to me, who is an undergraduate student, who is a YouTuber, and who merely focuses on criticizing Islam? I'm not even going into my worldview. I'm never going into moral philosophy. I'm not even going into what my beliefs are. I'm not doing that stuff. So you're comparing incomparable things right now. Sam Harris talks about moral philosophy. He talks about religion in general and compares it to an atheistic worldview, an atheistic meaning of life, atheistic morality, meditation, and so on. I don't do that either. I completely see myself separate from those people. If I claimed to be doing what they are doing, then yes, you could say that. You could compare me to them, but that's not what I'm doing. But I still don't get the point of what you're trying to make.
Problem with some ex-Muslims. Now, I'm not saying all. Some ex-Muslims maybe very clued up. But with some ex-Muslims, the problem is that all they really bring to the table is just a sub-story of Islam is just a horrible, horrible religion and I have suffered. And it's just this sub-story on repeat. Like, look, I'm against all persecution of any person, any apostate.
That's a terrible thing to say.
I condemn anybody persecuting them or harassing them for being an ex-Muslim. But if the ex-Muslim has, the only thing he has to bring to a table is his, Dukhi Atma, this kind of like Devdas Kahani that every time, so in this debate, there was.
I don't think that Mufti Abu Layth knows what I am doing and who I am and what I usually deal with, because the only thing that I bring to the table is not a sob story, which is an awful thing to say for someone who claims to care about the persecution of people. And I don't just talk about the persecution of atheists, of apostates from Islam. That's not what I do. But to refer to that as a sob story is a very terrible thing to do. I mean, seriously, we are talking about the fact that these Muslim apologists advocate for a future in which people who don't believe in Islam any longer should be persecuted. Oh God. I put my leg in it wrong way and I have to lift it. It went to sleep. Anyway, sorry. That's not just what I talk about. That is a very cruel thing. People are advocating for a future in which people are persecuted for no longer believing in this religion, and they could be killed for no longer believing in this religion. Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawa, and people like him, Daniel Hikikachi recently, someone I also talked to, are people who really advocate for a future in which people should be punished, sentenced to death, executed, publicly executed, or otherwise killed, or eventually, alternatively, according to Muhammad Hijab's unorthodox views, deported to different places, which basically means population control, demographics control, which is cruelty. That is completely contrary to human rights, to the Declaration of Human Rights. How can you call that a sob story? That is disgusting. If you refer to the moral criticism of Islam, which is not only against apostates, but also against so many other minority groups, and also so hostile against other religious groups, including against Christians, Jews, and polytheists, if you refer to that as sob story, then what the hell, who are you? I really wonder what Mufti Abu Layth believes in, because I see these Islamists hating on this guy, saying that he is a reformist, a heretic, and this and that. But does Mufti Abu Layth think that advocating for a system in which people are executed for their beliefs, and in which an Islamic state wages war against the world and enslaves people, including using them for sex slavery, does he think that that is not a big deal? Because that's what it sounds like. Also, most of the work on my channel consists of stuff that has nothing to do with apostasy. In fact, that is only stuff that I have focused on this month very much, because it was related to my whole debacle with Muhammad Hijab, and also with me tearing up the Quran, for example, because Al-Dawa said I should be executed in an Islamic state, and I then ripped up the Quran and said, do you people find this worse or that worse? So this is the only time that I'm actually focusing so much on the persecution of apostates. Normally, on my channel, there's, for example, I made a video completely analyzing the scientific mistakes of the Quran. I made a video analyzing the origins and the names of Allah. I made a video on analyzing the use of the name Mary in the Quran, and pointed out that this is a giant mistake which Islam cannot explain and justify, and Muslims have still failed to respond to that, for example. So most of my work, 90%, actually doesn't consist of what he's talking about, but he's making it look like that's all I am about, which is very strange, which tells me he doesn't really know my work. And then why is he talking about me with such generalization? Very strange. Seriously, Mufti Abu Layth, if you want to find out what I am doing, and if you really want to find out my perspectives, my views on matters, just talk to me yourself. Have me on your channel. Come to my channel. Let's have a discussion. Let's see how this goes. Have a debate with me. If you think I have an issue with debates because you have watched a debate that is not a debate, but just a chaos into which I was tricked, then hey, let's have a debate together. Let's have the debate with you. Muhammad Hijab ran from the debate offer for 1 month because he's scared of the topic, because he's insecure about his Islamic beliefs. Let's have the debate with you. Is Islam the truth? Dear Mufti Abu Layth, let's have the debate. Let's see. And I'm not making big claims. I'm not saying, hey, I'm going to crash you, I'm better than you and this and that. That's not what this is about. That's what it is never about to me. To me, it is always about information. I simply want to debate these issues very simply and intellectually.
I was surprised. There was a point where he asks Muhammad Hijab, what is the punishment for an apostate? So Muhammad Hijab says that the punishment is that he says, I believe, like he believes, not me. I don't believe there's any punishment for apostate. He says that he believes that apostate should not be killed. I was even surprised listening to this, because I thought, what is that Muhammad Hijab? And he says, I believe that in an ideal Muslim state, that they should have ideal Muslim country or Muslim countries, they should have treaties with non-Muslim countries where if somebody becomes a public apostate, due to their safety, they should be relocated and relocated to a safe country like in Europe somewhere, or America or Canada. And I was really, whoa. You see, now this is Muhammad Hijab developing. Yeah, Muhammad Hijab. Naughty. Right, so.
It's very strange to use a meme of yourself. I don't think Muhammad Hijab is developing, and I don't think you got the point, dear Mufti Abu Layth. What he is referring to is that during our discussion, I asked Muhammad Hijab, because Mufti Abu Layth doesn't know what he's talking about, because it was not me who brought up the matter of apostasy. That wasn't me, because that's not my big deal with Islam. That's not my major deal, although that may be one of the main motivations why I criticize Islam as an ex-Muslim. Admittedly, of course, everyone would. But the issue is that is not what I brought up. It was brought up because at the beginning of that discussion, I was attacked by Adam Saleh and Slim Al-Bahir, who asked me why I ripped up the Quran. I ripped up the Quran and I tried to explain to them why I did that. They never let me explain, which is why I, by the way, recorded my own response and will publish it today or tomorrow. But I said to them, I ripped up the Quran because Al-Dawa and other Muslim apologists say that I should be executed and that apostates should be executed in an ideal Islamic state. And I simply ripped up the Quran to protest that and say, is this worse? I can do it again. I don't mind at all This is not a big deal to me. It might be a big deal to you. I said, is this ripping apart the Quran worse? I still have these pieces here. Yes, I didn't clean it up because I find it so nice. I said, is this worse than saying that apostates should be executed, then people who don't believe in Islam should be executed? Is a piece of paper more worth to you than human lives of people who simply do not believe in your religion? Because why are you not outraged about that, but you lose your minds over me doing this simple thing to a piece of paper that I bought with my own money? That was my entire point. And I brought up the issue of apostasy, and then I asked Mohammed Hijab, because those two heroes at the beginning didn't have any idea what I was talking about. I asked Mohammed Hijab whether what the punishment for apostasy in Islam is. Now, Mohammed Hijab acted very clever. He didn't want to expose Islam directly for what it is, and didn't give me the response on what Islam actually says, but rather gave me a response on what he thinks should be done to apostates. And the issue is, yes, Mohammed Hijab did propose during that discussion that apostates should not be executed, but they should be relocated to a different place that an Islamic State has a contract with. But he later admitted, this is why I pushed him over and over again, he admitted that if his Dawah friends, who mostly believe that apostates should be executed, come to the conclusion that Mohammed Hijab's suggestion is wrong and that apostates should indeed be executed, then he would have to go with their decision, and he would have to live in a place where apostates are executed, as Muslim scholars and apologists have agreed over the years. Mohammed Hijab has also explained very briefly, and I didn't stand on that very much, but I will definitely point it out in my big response video, that the only reason he believes apostates should be relocated instead of killed is that Islamic states would currently not be in a powerful state to implement their own corporal punishment laws, because they would be attacked and invaded by Western countries like America, for example. He even gave the example when Brunei wanted to implement the death penalty for homosexuality, it caused uproar around the world, and countries were threatening Brunei with boycotts, with what's the term for that? Whatever, the official trade boycott. And there was a major attack against Brunei, which is why Brunei had to make a step back. So Mohammed Hijab doesn't think that it is more compassionate and more reasonable and better to relocate apostates instead of killing them. He just thinks at this point it would be the reasonable thing to do to get to our goal of a global Islamic state that wages war against the world. So Mufti Abu Layth is talking about how people don't have a grip on the matters that they talk about, but he did not get that very simple point. And I will point that out to him. Dear Mufti Abu Layth, I'm not making something up. I'm not tricking you. I'm not talking about some weird random things. I'm not making anything up. This is really what happened. This happened. And Mohammed Hijab even made a proposition that goes against Islam. Mostly his Muslim apologist colleagues agreed that what Mohammed Hijab said was actually a misunderstanding and misinterpretation of Islamic laws, and that it is invalid, which is why they would dismiss him and simply go with executing apostates, which Mohammed Hijab's dear friend Ali Dawa agrees with, by the way. So yeah, so you don't know what you're talking about, dear Mufti. I'm very sorry. I don't know how you are a Mufti. Maybe I should call myself a Mufti too. Since you're calling me Apis, I should call myself Mufti Apis. I will call myself Mufti Apis right now. I will actually do that right now. Since Mohammed Hijab has recently taught me that if you put a title on Twitter, then it is valid and you are what you become. You are what you put there. I will now put on my Twitter bio Mufti Apis. Go check out my Twitter. It's @apostate prophet. I am from now on known as Mufti Apis. I am Mufti Apis. Thank you for crowning me. Thank you for giving me this title, dear Mufti Abu Layth. I am from now on the Honorable Mufti Apis. Oh my God. Short break. I'll check a few comments. Rago Kunde made a super chat, didn't add a comment. Thank you so much. Rita made a super chat to support me. Thank you so much. Didn't add a comment. Carol Elishua said, on behalf of Momo Hijab, and made a super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Carol. And thank you for always being here. Greetings to Mohammed Hijab, who has recently contributed a lot to the cause of ex-Muslims and critics of Islam, by the way. Hindu historian made a super chat and said, long live freedom of religion and expression. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. SSN made a super chat. Thank you so much, SSN, and said, just in case you need to buy another copy to rip. And by the way, this donation was made on behalf of the Golden Shower Boy. Thank you, dear SSN. Thank you. I will invest this money into buying 1 or 2 more Qurans, just so I can reiterate my dear message in front of everybody again and make them understand my point. Is this worse or is that worse? And I will make that point again in the future. So thank you very much for buying me my future ripped up Quran. Thank you very much. Theo Huiwei-Sin, I don't know how you say that, made a super chat, made a super sticker with a little figure that holds a cup. Thank you so much. Solitary Emmy made a super sticker, as always. Thank you so much. Hindu Historian made a super sticker and said, yeah, thank you so much. Amateur Anth said, I couldn't watch this so-called debate because Momo and Jab likes talking. Momo and Jab likes talking, taking golden baths is such a tool and moron. I will get back to the super chats very quickly. I want to proceed with the video. Okay. I just don't want to ignore everybody here while I'm going on. All right, mate. I'm a very poor British person. Okay.
Now, when he says this, apostate prophet says to him, "Oh, how can you say that?" And he says, "No, I'm basing this on Ibn Qayyim's book," and he uses the Inzad al-Ma'ad, and he uses this evidence based on the hadith of Suhail ibn Amr and the treaty of Hudaybiyah, and the Prophet ﷺ made this treaty, so we're basing it on this, and there's maneuverability within the Sharia. And Apis just isn't, you see, he doesn't want him to say that. And he keeps arguing with him. And there's a point where Muhammad Hijab says to him, look, he says, I don't know what you want me to say. He says, because I'm telling you, I don't believe they should be killed, but you don't seem to be happy with that. And that hits the nail on the head.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I just explained it, but okay, I should have listened to this whole thing. I just explained it. I wasn't saying, how can you say that? I was saying, hey, what do you base this on? And is this just your idea or is this Islam? And I concluded in the end and said, okay, so Muhammad Hijab proposes that this should be done, but Islam actually says this and this. So Muhammad Hijab proposes deporting ex-Muslims, which is also a terrible thing. Imagine we proposed deporting everybody who converts to Islam. But the actual Islamic ruling, orthodoxly, is that apostates should be executed instead. And this is what is happening here. Muhammad Hijab is just making a proposition, and I'm not even trusting him. He's a liar, because he clearly, explicitly told me before that I shouldn't have trusted him when we were setting up our debate, when he agreed to a debate offer and then stepped back and said that he never agreed, although he clearly did, which he then later admitted that he agreed. Anyway, so Muhammad Hijab told me before that I shouldn't trust him, and he also clarified that that was only his position. So what is happening here is not that Muhammad Hijab says apostates shouldn't be killed, and I say, whoa, I don't accept that. No, what happens is that Muhammad Hijab says apostates should, in my opinion, be relocated, and this is my suggestion for the current times. And I say, well, that's just your suggestion, and it's baseless, it's wrong. I don't accept that because you're not telling us the truth. Tell us the truth. That's what actually happened. Dear Mufti Abu Layth, I have no idea what you're talking about. Again, if you tell me that you don't believe apostates should be executed, then I will say, okay, yeah, I believe you. I actually do genuinely believe that you don't believe that. And I appreciate that very much. But you have to admit that it is the Islamic scholarly consensus in the 1,400 years of Islam that apostates should be executed, because the ruling is very clear in numerous hadith, in numerous jurisprudential books of Islam, and it has been practiced like that forever. And again, Muhammad Hijab does believe in that. Man.
See, the problem with that is it doesn't tie into the sub-story. Because when you've got this thing of...
sub-story?
No, this...
There's something that's called...
Is this worse?
This incident that you've got here of Apis ripping up the Quran, this is his sub-story. You see, they threaten my life. They see, to them I should be killed. And it's like, look, okay, you've said it now. Like the guy is saying to you himself, you should be happy that somebody who's...
Dude, I made that video because Ali Dawa clearly said that I should be executed in his ideal Islamic world. I don't want to insult you. Are you kidding? Am I the crazy one here? Am I crazy? People, am I crazy here? Am I seriously the crazy one here? I mean, I am saying somebody says I should be killed in their ideal system, in their ideal world, which they aspire to. And that guy even says, and we will be watching, and we are proud of that. And I then say, what the hell, man? What the hell, everybody? Why do you not freak out about that, but you freak out about ripping the Quran? And then I pick up the Quran, rip it apart, and say, is this really worse than that? And I am now the one who is engaging in a sub-story and who is milking something? Are you kidding me? It is people like this guy, even if you don't support the killing of apostasy, Mufti Abu Layth, you are part of the problem. You are their defense. You defend them while they advocate for our killing. If I was now here and said, in my ideal system, in my ideal ideology, you and people like you, everybody who identifies as Muslim and who converts to Islam should be executed, and I'm proud of this, would you then be like, well, okay, yeah, he said it, whatever. Don't make a sob story about it, guys. Just get over it. Is that really how you would treat the situation? Are you kidding me? Man. These people.
From a Salafi background, like Muhammad Hijab is saying publicly, I don't believe apostate should be killed. You should be happy. But he kind of gets agitated that, well, why are you saying that? No. You should be saying that they should be killed.
That's not what happened.
This really shows the whole, that kind of agenda, this whole thing of, and this is the problem, that, if you don't have a meaningful dialogue to bring to the table, you'll be incredibly lacking. And you've had it in the past, like Ayan Hirsi, who's suffered in the past or whatever, but whenever she comes to speak about Islam, and it's like she'll be invited with atheists sometimes to speak, it's really just a sub-story on repeat. Like, it's not really...
So, here's my channel. Here is my channel. Look at this. Sort by most popular videos. Why I'm ripping apart the Quran just trended within 1 week and got to 1.3 million views, mostly dislikes by angry Muslims. But if you ignore that, the truth about the Kaaba, completely an analysis of Islam's origin story. The Indian objection to Islam, Islam and India history analysis. Who really wrote the Quran? An analysis of, again, Islam's scripture and origin story. Zakir Naik, a criticism of Zakir Naik. The Black Stone, again, an analysis of Islam's origin story. One mistake in the Quran destroys Islam, which is about the whole Mary paradox, is again an analysis of Islamic scripture. Analysis of Islamic scripture. Why I left Islam. Analysis of Islamic scripture. Analysis of Islamic logic and morality. Sorry video about ripping the Quran. My views on different religions and Islam. Scientific mistakes of the Quran. This is the first and only scientific mistakes video, compact one that exists on YouTube and on the internet, by the way. And I'm proud of that. Sorry that I'm so proud about it, but I'm just proud of it. But are you seeing this? The vast majority of my top videos are actually discussions about Islamic theology and scripture and origin. And this guy is sitting here and saying that apparently all I have to offer is that apostates should be executed, and that I find that very cruel. Dear Mufti Abu Layth, I have no idea what you think you have seen, and I don't know what you're talking about. Please have a conversation with me if you're really interested in my perspective and my approach to Islam.
Any philosophical points. She's not there to discuss, like, well, you've got this kind of a contradiction, or you've got this in the faith, or if you look at this, or if you look at the cosmos, or if you look at evolution, or if you look at this, or how can... It's just saying, in Somalia or in these places, Muslims are just evil people. It's just a sob story.
First off, you don't have to be a philosopher. You don't have to make a theological analysis of Islam in order to counter Islam. People can do this for many different reasons, and even if you are just against Islam's moral issues, you can do that, and you can concentrate on that. If Ayaan Hirsi Ali, I don't know much of her work, but I know that she focused very much on her story as a woman in Islam. She focused on that. She made short films about that. She wrote a book about it. She talks about it, how Islam is hostile and how Islam treats minorities, how Islam treats women. If you want to do that, you can do that. Criticizing Islam and being against Islam, being a person who stands in front of Islam and who stands up to Islam, does not require that you study moral philosophy and you study evolutionary biology and you present all these things. That's a completely weird thing to say and to claim. That's not how it works. Not everyone has to be a specialist in everything or in every specific area related to Islam. What are you talking about?
On which may be incredibly unfortunate, but the point is, you can't just live off that. You can't like how much do you want to milk this story? Like, okay, you've said it, I agree with you, that's wrong. I agree with you that condemning apostates is wrong. I support the freedom of people who want to believe and don't want to believe. But yara bas kar yaar, kitna roega yaar. You just non-stop. And then look, you come publicly, you rip up the Quran. Now,
you think how long will people go on and milk the story and speak against apostasy? Well, are you aware that there are a dozen countries that still have apostasy laws in which it is officially illegal to leave Islam? These things still exist. This is a matter of our time. Of course, people will not just talk about it once and be like, okay, I've said what I needed to say. I'll now go ahead and live my life and go to the beach and whatever. No, these are problems that are still going on. If there are problems that are still going on, if there are many other conflicts in the world, we don't just do this thing where an individual just goes and speaks about it once and then goes away because now they're done with the matter. No, people will talk about a problem as long as the problem exists. What kind of logic is this? What are you talking about, man?
You tell me something. Is it not the hypocrisy of these people, right? They will, look, check this out. They will go live stream with people like David Woods, who is an evangelical, hardcore Christian. There's very little difference between him and, from their perspective, him and a Muslim. He believes that the wine is the blood of Jesus Christ. So? I mean, this is what Christians believe. I mean, whether he will deny, I doubt he will deny, but he believes that Jesus Christ God sent him as an avatar to get battered so mankind can somehow have salvation, that this was God's great plan, that's how intelligent God is, that this is the best he could come up with. So they will team up with someone like that just to insult Muslims. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, how can an atheist be teaming up with an evangelic, like a hardcore fundamentalist Christian, just to have just to bash Muslims? That makes zero sense. Like, I can understand atheists just having a go at all religions, but to gang up with one religion to bash another religion.
Mufti Abu Layth has a very shallow understanding of why people do the things that they do. This is very. I don't want to insult your intelligence, dear Mufti Abu Layth, but what the hell? How is that smart? How is that smart? How is that logic? How is this logical? What are you talking about? This doesn't even make sense to me. I don't even know how to respond to this because it looks to him like, apparently that's what it looks like here. To him, you can only be one certain thing. You can have one identity, one worldview and belief system, and then you can only be one type of that certain thing. So if I am somebody who doesn't believe in Islam, and if I am an atheist, for example, which I say I am, I don't believe in God, and I have many reasons to that, and I'm still preparing on making a video on why I don't do that. If I'm an atheist, that to him means that I must be against all religions, and that if I criticize one certain religion, that I must also equally hate and be against all religions and religious people, and be against all their specific beliefs, and against all their myths and superstitions and religious beliefs and all that. How does that make sense? How is that? That is a very simple-minded, a very strange way to look at things. It's very simple to think that way. I understand that many anti-theists and atheists also think that way. They think, I'm an atheist, so logically I need to hate religion now. So yeah, I will now hate all religion, and I will now attack all religion equally. But that's a very simple thing. It's like that's the simplest thing that you can do as an atheist. The simplest thing you can do as a Muslim is to just completely equip yourself with Islam and attack other religions. These are like uniform type things and are the simplest things that you could do. If I am an atheist, there may be different reasons why I am against one religion and not against other religions. If I'm an atheist, that doesn't mean I have to hate religion. I don't hate religion. I don't hate the belief in something supernatural. I don't hate Islam because of its belief in the supernatural. I am against Islam because of its rulings, because of its morality, because of the way it conducts itself in the world, because of the way it has spread itself in the history. And as a part of that, I will, of course, attack the foundations of it. I have no interest in attacking all kinds of beliefs because I don't think that there's any benefit in that. I respect people who do that. For example, I respect it when Armin Navabi attacks, criticizes all religions. I appreciate it when a Christian criticizes Islam or other religions, or when a different person criticizes Christianity or other religions. I appreciate it when religious people criticize atheism. I appreciate the entire discourse of this. I appreciate religion myself because I believe that religion is inherently the human struggle, the human desire to find meaning in life and to have order in the world. I don't believe that there is something supernatural behind it, but I appreciate the fact that what religion symbolizes to me is a struggle to find truth and a struggle to find meaning. And I respect that. If I went back and said, I hate all religions, I wish we never had religions in the past, then that would be to me like hating my past, hating my childhood, hating the past of humanity. I appreciate the past because I appreciate the fact that people looked for truths, that people sought truths. So I have a completely different view on religion and morality, on meaning, than what the average atheist has, for example. I also don't think that we need to attack and end all religions. No, I don't believe that. If you came together with me, dear Mufti Abu Layth, I wouldn't attack your religious beliefs. I could sit down with you without ever talking about your belief and talking about other things instead. Because I am very diverse in my thinking and in my head. I think differently. I think much more complex than you do, apparently. I'm sorry to say that, but that's what it looks like. Yeah. So when I come together with David Wood, for example, I come together with him because he is not hostile against me, and I have nothing against his beliefs, and he has nothing against the fact that I have different beliefs, which is why we can come together and criticize a religious belief that is both against me and against him in the most hostile and aggressive ways. This is just very simple. Very, very simple. It has nothing to do with being an atheist, with religious beliefs. Man. I wonder if he will ever get back to the morality issue, because I wanted to talk about that. I didn't talk about it because I thought he would talk and then I would respond, but let's see.
That just shows the insincerity to your own cause. Like, your cause is that religions don't make sense.
No, it's not. It's not. See, you're making a huge assumption about me because you know something about some atheists and you think that atheists are just like this, or that someone who criticizes one religion is just an anti-theist who hates all religion. No, you don't know who I am. You don't know what my worldview is. You don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you are talking about. Sorry. This is clear evidence that you have no idea. I have, in fact, directly said that I don't hate all religions, that I don't criticize all religions. I even made a video talking about why I don't criticize other religions and why I criticize Islam. I will do it again. Maybe he will see that.
So how on earth are you supporting you're side by side insulting the faith of almost 2 billion people on earth? Like, I said you wouldn't do that to any book. You wouldn't stand there with Harry Potter and rip it and eat it and chew it and spit it.
Why would I do that?
What do you think of a sacred book? Now tell me, just because imagine
Why would I rip up a Harry Potter book? Why would I rip up a Harry Potter book? What? Why would I do that? I'll do that next time. I will do that. I will order a Harry Potter book right now, and I will post a video on why I am ripping up a Harry Potter book.
imagine somebody, unfortunately, either witnesses a crime, a gun crime, or something in America. Yeah. Now, to bear arms in America is their constitutional right. Now, just because some Americans may misuse that right, they may go out and shoot up a cinema hall, as some wacko, crazy Americans do sometimes. Would they, or imagine they went there and some American said to them, "No, you don't have the right to be here. This is this," and they say, "This is the United States of America." Blah blah. Would they stand there and burn the American Constitution? They wouldn't.
False equivalency.
They never would.
False equivalency. Very basic, very simple false equivalency. Happens, I make false equivalencies when I talk off the cuff, but big false equivalency here. So I ripped up the Quran because somebody who is a big representative of the Islamic scene in the UK said that I should be executed in his ideal world, and that apostates like me, should be executed in his ideal world. And Muslims were not outraged about that. No one was outraged about that. But at the same time, David Wood ate the Quran, which he did for a completely different purpose, by the way, which has nothing to do with this. He ate the Quran, and Muslims started freaking out and complaining about him and trying to shut him down. And I said, wait a minute. Are you kidding me? Are you people seriously? I wasn't that surprised, actually. It was quite unsurprising. I said, are you people seriously not outraged about one of your biggest representatives saying that I should be executed, but you are so outraged about somebody disrespecting a piece of paper? So here, I will do it too. Are you seriously more outraged about this than about that? Is this worse than that? That is what I did. Now, the equivalent of that would be if America, you can't even compare to that, because America is not a belief system that has certain ideas that everybody has to adhere to. It doesn't have an inherent message that it sends to the world. But let's say, okay, let's for the sake of the argument accept that this works. The equivalent would only be that a big representative of America that everybody knows goes out and says, I think we should kill this and this minority in our country, and we should do that in our ideal world, and we are proud of that. And then people are not outraged about that. Americans are not outraged about that. But somebody at the same time rips up the Constitution and puts it in his mouth, and all Americans are completely outraged about that. Then I come forth and say, hey, you people, are you seriously more upset about this, the ripping up of the United States Constitution, or than you are about your biggest representative saying that people should be killed in their ideal system? This would be the equivalent of that. I hope you understand that. That would be the equivalent. You are comparing something completely wrong. It doesn't make any sense.
Would they burn the American flag? Because it's the American Constitution that these people misused to bear arms. They never would. They'd never burn a flag. Does burning a flag harm? The same argument, I ripped the Quran, does it harm anyone? Does burning a flag harm anyone? But why do you do these things?
People burn flags in America all the time, by the way, and it doesn't cause a huge outcry where people threaten the person who burned it and try to track him down and shut him down and kill him and send death threats to their families. I mean, it may happen here and there, but this is not a phenomenon that is going on. So again, false equivalency, false conclusion.
You take the Quran, you rip it in front of people, you chew it, you spit it. Look, I tell you, the vast majority of Muslims are actually sympathetic to you. They don't want apostates to be hurt. They don't want people to be kind of persecuted. No. They don't want these things to happen. You are insulting each and every one of them. Just think about that. And
I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care who's insulted. I don't care who's offended. I really don't give a damn. I don't give a crap who's offended and who's insulted. I will do it again and again, and I'm planning on doing it again in the future until my point comes across. I don't care who's insulted. I don't care at all who is insulted. I don't care who is offended. If you seriously walk together with people who believe that people should be executed for their beliefs, then I don't give a crap how much you are insulted about me ripping up your book. The message there was that you are not outraged about that, but you're outraged about this. That was the entire message. I don't care how many people agree with that position or disagree with that position. The message, the point was to attract attention to this cause and to say, you people, all of you, are hypocrites. And yes, you are. And to the point that most Muslims, the vast majority of Muslims, would be sympathetic with me is wrong. That's untrue. I could pull up statistics on that. I didn't prepare that. I can maybe do that soon. But a big number of Muslims actually agree with the killing of apostates. And if you look at the reaction that I got online, most people who saw what Ali Dawa said about me, for example, or that they defended my killing, came in support of him and defended their calls to execute me, whereas they were completely against my calls to criticize them and to stand up to them. So no, I do not for a second believe that most Muslims, the vast majority of Muslims, actually sympathize me and actually want to abolish apostasy laws. If most Muslims actually do believe that, then show us that you do that. Abolish apostasy laws, abolish blasphemy laws, stop people from lynching people, stop people from intimidating people over their beliefs. Just stop it. Show us the true face of Islam, which I can show you without even making something up like this.
And the audacity and arrogance to say, well, I don't give a shit. Well, you should. Out of decent courtesy,
Did you just
as
say
a human being, you are prepared to offend everyone just to make a point.
Yes, I am.
You know, like that.
I am.
So it's these kind of things. They go to show that there's zero civility that these people bring to a dialogue. That if that's what you're
So I am I am the one who brings zero civility to the conversation by saying, hey, I shouldn't be killed.
prepared to do, but I mean, so this was that, but I want the dialogue in and of itself was incredibly embarrassing. I have to say, I did previously watch Apos's dialogue with Danny Boy, and I don't take a liking to Danny Boy, and I would say that look, that with that dialogue, Danny Boy had kind of decimated him, but I thought maybe that was a kind of he caught him off guard. Maybe because Apos said, you know, I wasn't prepared. I didn't realize he was going to quote all these things. He was going to quote facts, figures, statistics. I wasn't expecting it. Yeah, are you ever expecting something?
Dude.
I mean, this dialogue was pathetic. It was useless. Like this whole thing, you know.
Many people probably remember what he's referring to. My conversation with Daniel Hikikachu. My discussion with Daniel Hikikachu was also not prepared, and it wasn't meant to be a debate. So I didn't have debates, dear Mufti Abu Layth. I didn't have a debate with Daniel Hikikachu, and I didn't have a debate with Muhammad Hijab. I am the one who challenged Daniel Hikikachu and Muhammad Hijab to a debate. Daniel Hikikachu outright first said, okay, we will see, and then rejected my debate offer, whereas Muhammad Hijab rejected my debate offer after accepting it, and said, I will only debate you in person with a crowd if you come to London. That is what really happened. Of course, I wasn't prepared to have a debate with Muhammad Hijab because he, after rejecting me, tricked me into a conversation because that is apparently the only way that he can trust himself. He says that I'm so low and that I am not on his level, but he tricks me into a fight and then fights with me and then has a debate with me. And Daniel Hikikachu, I invited him to my channel to talk about his beliefs on the killing of apostates and homosexuals. I asked him to justify that. And he was very demanding in his standards for the conversation. For example, I said, if we want to discuss this issue, then we also have to discuss what truth you base your ideas on. We have to discuss whether Islam theologically makes sense or not. But he was like, no, I only want to talk about whether Islam's capital punishments are justified or not. And I was like, well, okay, fine. Then let's do short answers, quick answers. We'll just go through. I will ask you a question. You will give me an answer, and then we will move on. But Daniel Hikikachu didn't do that. He started talking for 10 minutes, not giving straight answers. Afterwards, afterwards called it a debate, when during the conversation he said it never was a debate. So these people play tricks, and I kind of went with it. That is what happened. I didn't have a debate with these people, dear Mufti Abu Layth. I am the guy who says, let us have a debate so we can listen to each other. I am the one who wants to sit down and who wants to have debates. Why do you not see this? I want to debate each one of you, every single one of you. In the past, I said, I don't want to debate Muslim apologists because I don't see them as defenders of Islam, although they consider themselves as such. But I am now completely ready to really have a debate with you, to really talk about Islam properly with you in front of everybody, just to see what I believe in, what you believe in, and whether you can justify your beliefs. All right, let me see. Something happened here. David Wood just came here and made a super chat. Did I just see that right? Acts 17 apologetic super chat $500. David, what is going on? What are you doing? This is specifically for Mrs. Apostate. It's Mrs. Apostate, my wife. It's to buy a gift courtesy of Mohammed Hijab. Of Mohammed Hijab, who provided the money by sending me a bunch of new supporters. Man, David. Okay, David just made a super chat of $500 to the channel, to this conversation, and says that this is a gift to Mrs. Apostate, my wife, who was severely harassed and insulted by Mohammed Hijab. Because Mohammed Hijab recently made a video commanding his followers to come and report us, and to report our Patreon, so that our Patreon is shut down, so that we cannot work anymore, so that we can have no funding and no support from our followers. But then the whole thing backfired, and not only did David Wood and I get like almost 200 new Patreon supporters each, but also Mohammed Hijab's video was taken down by YouTube for bullying and harassment. So thank you so much for all those people who after that, because of that, came to support us, by the way, and who became Patreon supporters. But that's what that's what David is referring to. Mohammed Hijab gave us a lot of support and actually increased our support and our funds. And David just donated $500 because of that to this conversation. Man, thank you, David. I have to do something too now. I have to donate to some charity, and in the name of Mohammed Hijab, maybe some charity that he completely disagrees with. I should do that too. I will come up with something. Thank you, David. Man. See what you have done. See what you've done, Mohammed Hijab. See what you have done. You are the main destroyer of Islam in the world right now. Forget about David Wood. Forget about me. You, Mohammed Hijab, you are destroying Islam. You have exposed the holes in the standard narrative. You have increased the support of David Wood and apostate prophet. You have completely destroyed the image of Islam by trying to harass people and sending threats and intimidating people and making rape implications online and talking about golden showers and gimps and all that stuff. You are the destroyer of Islam. Please go on. Man, thank you, David. Seriously, that was totally shocking. By the way, quick super chats before I move on. Mrs. Idemir, my wife, said maybe Mufti isn't making sense because of increased intracranial pressure due to all that gel in his hair. Do you say gel in English? Do you say gel in? You say gel, right? Yeah. I can't speak English. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck in my German. Yeah, the Mufti isn't making sense because of increased intracranial pressure due to all that gel in his hair. Seriously though, have you ever seen a Muslim authority, a Muslim scholar who looks like this? Have you ever seen a Muslim scholar who looks like this? I like it. I think it's funny. I think it's nice that the Mufti looks like this. I think it's nice that the Mufti has earrings and he has his big muscles and his open button-down shirt and the gel in his hair, nice haircut, cool beard and mustache. Spent a lot of time in front of the mirror to go and preach about Islam. I appreciate it, dear Mufti. I appreciate it very much. I think you're an awesome Mufti, just like me. I am also a Mufti now. I've called myself Mufti Apus today on Twitter. If you go on my Twitter right now, you can see that I am from now on known as Mufti Apus. Okay, let's see further. Manuel Diaz made a super chat and didn't say anything. Metal Minister said that fake laugh is straight cringe, super annoying. I don't know. I find his laugh funny, to be honest. But yeah, it's kind of weird that he laughs too much and about everything. But who am I to judge? I laugh about everything too. But thank you for the super chat. Hannah W made a super chat and said, and made a super sticker with a thumbs up. Mickey Issoum made a super chat and said, Muslims rightly criticize the persecution of Uyghurs by China, but hypocritically advocate killing apostates to protect the state. Same reasoning. Yeah, I pointed that out recently in my video response to Mohammed Hijab suggesting that we should be relocated instead of executed. Every ex-Muslim that I know, including me, speaks up against the persecution of people and doesn't want Muslims to be persecuted in different countries. And I honestly think that China is doing a terrible thing and China should be stopped because they're committing cultural genocide. And every ex-Muslim that I know agrees with that. But every big Muslim apologist here that I know agrees that we ex-Muslims should be executed and persecuted, because apparently there is nothing wrong with persecuting ex-Muslims, but persecuting Muslims is completely awful and wrong. If I said Muslims should be, people who convert to Islam should be executed in an ideal state, all Muslim apologists would jump on that and would condemn everybody who works with me. They would finish me. They would destroy me completely. But Muslims can just freely say apostates should be executed, and it's no issue. Very strange. Okay, I will go on.
Honestly, you've got, all I can say is that you've got.
Are they real or not? Are they real or not? Are they objective or objective? My question to you is so simple. Like, my question to you is morality. Is it objective or not?
That is not how it works. That is not how this works.
This is the truth, and you see, for Apus, this is like, yeah, what?
Is that music? Is it music thing? What the hell is going on? I don't know if that's copyrighted. Does that music come from him? Or did I just? What the hell is that? Is that some Indian or Pakistani thing that they do? Does that music carry some meaning that I don't understand? Because I don't get it.
Yeah, where did these questions come out of? You're going to debate?
No. Okay. Here, clear proof. He has no clue that this was not meant to be a debate. He has clearly. This is clear evidence that. Why is my thing blurry here? He has clearly no clue that this was not meant to be a debate. He thinks that I should have prepared for the debate, but now I'm acting like I don't know where these questions came from. But then why am I doing it? What am I doing in a debate? This is clear proof that he doesn't know that this was not meant to be a debate, that Mohammed Hijab came in to trick me into a debate that he was running from. So, dear Mufti Abu Layth, you have not watched the debate, you have not watched the conversation, but you have actually made big claims and big conclusions about the conversation. What the hell? Of course, I didn't know that we would talk about philosophy, which we should have never talked about, because it was not a debate.
That's like this person who all of a sudden drives into a pole, and then he has to get out, and he's looking at the pole like, where the hell did you come from?
Don't you, bro?
This guy is so good.
That's it, you see. And when he started, look at the
I just appreciate that he had so much fun, though.
confidence.
As a movie.
Don't you, bro?
Man, what am I watching? So, you know what? Actually, the real good analogy, the real accurate analogy would be that I'm driving somewhere outside, and I made an agreement. I'm driving somewhere outside, and while driving in the middle of the street, suddenly a pole appears out of nowhere, and then I drive into it. That would be the accurate analogy. And I didn't even drive into it. I just crashed it and I drove over it because Mohammed Hijab did a terrible job, and he has. I will make a video response to him. That's what I said. But yeah, this was not meant to be a debate, and I was not wrong about morality. I will come back to that. Let's see what he says.
Well, Ramiga, dear, this is the kind of confidence that they go with. That yeah, but look, this is the arena. You know, in religion, if you want to debate religion, it is an arena of concepts, of philosophy. It is the battle of minds. It's like any arena, like any. If you want to go into boxing, or you want to go into martial arts or football or sports or cricket, or you have to have the caliber.
What are you talking about?
You have to be good at the art. If you want to come into the realm of debating religion, you have to be quick. You have to be able to think.
I'm speeding up because I don't like watching videos.
To be able to know philosophy, to be able to know these dialogues, discussions, concepts, these perspectives. You have to know this. That's what the arena is. You know, there's no point coming to.
That's why I'm saying let's have a debate. That is why I am saying let's have a debate. Man.
The arena and going like, yeah,
this guy.
Hustle, yeah.
What the hell? I'm sorry, I'm make it bigger.
That's the thing in it. This is him preparing.
No, wait.
So that's I had to cover that.
I just appreciate the fact that this guy has actually a platform where he's supposed to educate and preach about Islam, but then he posts a bunch of memes and laughs all the time. That's kind of this is how Islamic apologetics should be. If Islam was like this, I wouldn't criticize Islam. I would just focus on my studies and my personal life and other stuffs.
Right. I thought and to be fair, look, I'm very straightforward. I disagree with many of the approaches of, and I've condemned many of the things Muhammad Hijab has said in the past, Danny Boy has said in the past, other people have said, I will condemn them. But I had to say that, look, in this debate, to be fair, I was shocked that Muhammad Hijab had such a forward-thinking approach.
I still have no idea where he's getting. Okay, look, I've watched, I don't know how much of this I've watched. I've watched quite a long portion of what he talked about me, but he keeps saying that Muhammad Hijab was very good and I was not very good and I wasn't prepared, but he still didn't tell me what exactly he's talking about. I still have no idea why he's saying
apostates. I was like, wow.
I really wonder if he agrees with Muhammad Hijab on moral philosophy, and if he does, why he does. That's all I'm trying to come to because I want to respond to it.
Okay, there's progress. And, you know, I would have thought that people would be happy. I would have thought even Apis would be like, oh, wow, man, thank God I've got that on camera. But he was more upset than what the hell. So anyway, that was my thoughts on the whole debate. Whoa, people, we got to wrap this up. This has been going on for quite a while. We're almost coming up to... But this is it. You know, when you have the confidence, but then you're like, yeah.
Launching, bro.
Man. I thought you talked more about this stuff. This guy.
It's like morality instinct. We have
here morality.
I do disagree with the aspect of morality. I see morality as we have a morality instinct. We have a compass which is very raw, and then
okay.
But one can argue that is still to a great extent subjective, although it's a shared subject. I know somebody had said intersubjectivity.
Okay, sorry.
It's like where the hell did this poll come from? Guys, with that, let's wrap this up. It's been awesome. By the way, you know, the morality debate, I don't personally agree with Muhammad Hijab, his perspective on morality. I know.
Wait, what is the show about then? What?
It's not about. You see, people. I know somebody had said intersubjectivity. Yes, of course. I mean, there's intersubjectivity. He could have said intersubjective approach, but one can argue that is still to a great extent subjective, although it's a shared subjectivity. I do disagree with the aspect of morality. I see morality as we have a morality instinct. We have a compass which is very raw, and then that is built upon based on the social context and what I would say the social consciousness, that the social awareness kind of develops that morality compass, that base instinct we have. To me, it's analogous to language. The way we have what Chomsky calls a universal grammar, I would feel we have a base universal morality, but it's very, very minimalistic. It's very simple. It's just focused on.
So he's going into theories of the origin of moral philosophy, of morality, and he's basically describing a vastly subjective approach to describing the origins of morality, whereas he also appeals to a form of that we all have some shared morality. I still don't understand why he was then saying that I am not, that I've lost something there.
Recognizing harm and then empathy. That's all. So when we see suffering, we can empathize.
Okay.
And then the rest of it is kind of all carved out through the social practice. So it's not that I actually agree with necessarily the arguments that some of these people are making. But my point is you have to know how to debate them.
Man. Okay. I'm sorry for yelling. Are you kidding me? Okay, this is the crux of the matter. Now, Mufti Abu Layth wants to talk about debating, about my debate with Muhammad Hijab, because people keep asking him about Muhammad Hijab's debate with me. So he watches a few videos about from that debate between Muhammad Hijab and me. Then he includes that into his list of videos that he will play during this live stream. He talks about it as if he had gotten the point of the debate and the points in that debate, and criticizes me and laughs that stuff off. But he doesn't actually know anything that he's talking about. What he thinks here, I get the point now only because I got it at the very beginning, but I didn't think this was actually what he's going on about. What he thinks is that Muhammad Hijab asks me a question whether there is only objective morals or subjective morals, and I cannot answer the question. That's what he thinks, and that's what he's laughing about. But when you look at the footage, you clearly see that during the entire debate, I keep asking Muhammad Hijab questions and then moving on, laughing it off and say, okay, I will make a video response to you. You will see my response to this. You cannot evade this. I'm currently working on a video in which I will respond to you. And I've been announcing that for quite a while now. I'm just so sick of that right now, which is why I haven't published it yet. I ask him questions. I just listen to his responses. I laugh. I reiterate what he said, and then I move on because I want to include them into my video in which I expose the ignorance, the stupidity, and the arrogance of Muhammad Hijab, which I think will be a 1-hour video because it's become very big. In that matter, when we talk about moral objectivism and subjectivism, again, Muhammad Hijab tries to say that I cannot object to Islam's morality because I have no objective moral values. I then laugh that off and say that's not how it works. And no, that is not how it works. It's not like if I don't have a moral view according to which everybody in the world should have the same objective moral values, then I cannot criticize certain moral values. That's not how it works. I can adhere to a specifically different moral philosophy and can prefer some morals over other morals and say, hey, this is better for us because of this, which is why I criticize your morals because they are wrong and bad for everybody. So this is just a simple example. There are many bases on which I can criticize different sets of morals. I don't need objective morality for that. But then Muhammad Hijab said, so are your morals objective or subjective? And I said, wait, do you think there's only subjectivism and objectivism? And he said, yes. And then I laughed. Then he started to kick the question back to me and laughed at me and tried to humiliate me because I wouldn't answer this question back. Because, as pointed out earlier, I was not there to answer his questions. I was there to collect answers from him and to move on to embarrass him later. If they play their way and trick me into a discussion after rejecting a debate with me, then I will play my way and collect whatever I can and make a video about them without them having the opportunity to respond to me. And I have every right to do that because I was the person who made these debate offers to begin with. I am completely fair here. But Mufti Abu Layth doesn't get the point, and he thinks that I cannot respond to Muhammad Hijab's question because I didn't respond there, because I didn't want to respond. Man. Mufti Abu Layth, you may be an authority in Islam, and you may have a lot of Islamic education. You may be able to put out authoritative rulings on Islam. But seriously, if you want to talk about a matter, you should look into the matter first before you talk about it. Now, coming to morality, subjectivism and objectivism. I'm not going to lengthily talk about this because, as said, I will make a response to this, and I'm planning an entire chapter in which I will demonstrate how Muhammad Hijab has a very shallow understanding of morality. I'm planning that. But I already said in the discussion that morality is not just subjectivism and objectivism. I say that because, yes, some people may think that there are only objective and subjective morals, which is why there is only objectivism and subjectivism, but that's not really how it works. And if Muhammad Hijab claims to be an expert in philosophy, then he shouldn't make such a big claim. He shouldn't say there is only objectivism and subjectivism, because he should know that that is not a uniform view in philosophy. For example, we could just go into a Google search. Go ahead, do it for yourself, and Google moral objectivism and subjectivism. You will get many results which will list you moral viewpoints aside from that. For example, I even mentioned one of those during our discussion, which was moral relativism. Now, you can say that moral relativism is also subjective and also the same as subjectivism, but many philosophers clearly disagree with that. Many schools, many philosophy books openly disagree with that because they define, for example, subjectivism. I know this is going to be, I'm going a little bit too deep into philosophy, and many people don't want to follow this stuff. It is very boring. I find it very boring at some points too, but I have to respond to this matter. Many philosophers describe moral subjectivism as a worldview, especially if it's prescriptive, if you think people should live by a moral subjective philosophy, as a worldview according to which it is up to the individual what he follows and what he does. And the moral philosophies of individuals depend on the individuals themselves. And judging philosophy depends on the individual themselves. Whereas moral relativism, for example, is a philosophy according to which people can have within their own cultures and societies objective moral values, but that one society may have a different moral system than another society. Now you can say, okay, these people have subjective moral values because this philosophy is subjective because it doesn't agree with this philosophy. But that is not subjectivism. That is relativism, because relativism argues that you can have morals depending on different cultures and different environments and different times, whereas subjectivism is about a personal difference in morality, which is why many scholars and many school books, this is something I learned in introduction level philosophy, clearly say there is objectivism, there is subjectivism, and there is relativism. While many moral philosophies may go into both subjectivism and relativism, subjectivism and relativism are not fundamentally the same, because there are certain philosophies that may also be subjectivist and to certain extents objectivists, or objectivists and to certain extent relativists. So this is a completely deep issue on which Muhammad Hijab has a very shallow, a very rigid, wrong understanding, probably because according to his worldview, there is only Islam and everything else is abhorrent and wrong. And when Muhammad Hijab claims that he is an authority on philosophy, because apparently he has a political philosophy degree, with which he, by the way, failed to define freedom of speech, then he should know this, or maybe he should be aware of this. He should have some knowledge of this. If he claims to be an expert on philosophy, he should understand this issue a little bit before he attempts to talk about it and before he attempts to ridicule other people on this. And by the way, these are not the only perspectives. You may argue that moral nihilism, like normative moral nihilism or moral skepticism, is a different view that is neither subjective nor relative nor objective, because according to that, you cannot define morality at all, and there can be no universal or local moral values. So philosophy is complicated. This is very different. And if you want to have a discussion with me about philosophy, I will gladly sit down and talk about these things with you. I am not somebody who has had a degree, who has a degree in the philosophy field, but I have read about it forever. I have studied basic introduction level. I've studied logic. I've studied many philosophy books. That's not how it works, man. That is really not how it works. Some people would even go as far ahead as one more issue. I swear, one more issue on the whole morality thing, because in the debate I brought up utilitarianism, which, by the way, Mohammed Hijab mispronounced dozens of times during the debate as utilitarianism. He claims to be an expert who studied philosophy, but he cannot pronounce utilitarianism. It is utilitarianism, not utilitarianism. Many scholars would argue that utilitarianism is, for example, a worldview according to which humanity has an objective moral worldview and an objective moral philosophy, because people strive for what is good for society, what is good for themselves, and they find out what is good for themselves and follow what is good for them. And people can, people can come together and agree that, oh, look, this has proven to be good for society, so you you abide by that certain action because you think that this is good for society, and that is utilitarianism, for example. But utilitarianism can also overlap with moral relativism and subjectivism, which is why many people argue that utilitarianism is not just an objective or just a subjective or just a moral or just a relativist point of view, but that it is entirely different, for example. So that was what my entire question was about. And Mohammed Hijab couldn't answer the question. Then he turned it around on me, and now they're acting like I couldn't answer the question when I was the one who originally asked the question. What the hell are you people talking about? It feels like the average Mohammed Hijab fan has no clue about these matters, but just agrees with Mohammed Hijab on what he said because he is the Muslim apologist, and they don't care about what he said. They just care about the fact that he is the Muslim apologist, who is also very loud. And the Mufti here has no idea what he has watched, no idea what was going on, and he came to such a judgment. Man. I've just talked a lot about philosophy. I know. Long topic, complicated topic, deep topic, but that is basically what this is about. I will lengthily talk about this again. But to the average Mohammed Hijab fan, this is just, oh, Mohammed Hijab, brother Mohammed Hijab destroyed APIS. They agree with everything that he says. It doesn't even matter whether it makes sense or not.
Guys, let's wrap this up. It's been awesome as always. If there's any issues, do reach out to me.
I guess that is it. Let me see.
Do reach out to me. Instagram is possibly the best place. I am going to be starting soon, and not this week, next week.
Okay, so that was it. That is Mufti Abu Layth talking about me. I should leave a comment for him. Greetings. Greetings. This is Mufti Apis. Apis. Get back to me. Okay. This is Mufti Apis. Okay, I'm from now on known as Mufti Apis. This is the day that I have gotten my new name, Mufti Apis. Everybody who doesn't know what that refers to should go back to this live stream. This is Mufti Abu Layth gave me the honor to call myself Mufti Apis from now on, and this is what we're doing from now on. Okay, fantastic. So we're done. Okay, now I will get to the conclusion of this, but I just want to go through your super chats, everybody, because I don't want to miss them. man, what a shit show. Elif made a super sticker and said, keep it up. Thank you so much, Elif. I appreciate it very much. Stefan Milojevic made a super chat and said, did Mohammed Hijab ever win a debate? Because I'm dying of searching for it. All I see is just he talks with somebody and then declares himself a winner. Well, that's the entire thing. I've made that point several times over the months. It doesn't matter to them whether they actually, whether they actually win a debate, whether they are good or not in the debate. What matters is that they challenge somebody, and that certain somebody rejects the debate, which makes him a coward, which makes the Muslim a winner. If the other side accepts the debate, then no matter the outcome, the Muslim apologist is the winner and has completely destroyed his opponent. And that is how it works with Mohammed Hijab. He is basically implying that nobody can defeat him because he's so good, so strong. And I'm still here trying to debate these people. Man. Animal made a super chat and said, I hear that the Jews are very, very pleased with Hijab's work recently. This donation is for Mimi. Yeah. Don't take this as a mockery of Jews. This is in reference to how the Jews supposedly support the critics of Islam, according to many strange Islamists. And since Muhammad Hijab has recently contributed so much to the demise of Islam, it seems that the Jews are also paying Muhammad Hijab. So ridiculous, man. Rita made a super sticker and said, "For you." Thank you so much. I want to go through all of this quickly. I've been here for way too long. Saint Miles made a super chat. Thank you so much, Saint Miles, for always being here. I appreciate you. And made a super sticker that says #1 fan. Thank you so much. Menkat Jandala made a super chat and said, "Hi, Mufti Apis." I should get a thing that says Mufti Apis here from now on. I also wanted to install a golden shower head. What do you think about that? Should I have a golden shower head hanging from the wall here just to honor the golden showers? Those who don't know what that is in reference to probably think, what the hell? Salad made a super chat and said, "You need to borrow David Wood's Quran crusted shoes and moonwalk into a muddy pool." That is good. That is good. Someone with a name that I cannot read because I have no idea what that script is. What is that? Made a super chat and didn't add any comment, but I appreciate it. Kevin Dublin made a super chat and didn't add anything. I appreciate it. Jonathan Maciel, I don't know how you say that. I'm a terrible immigrant who is still trying to learn English. Said or learn Europeanish. Said in a super chat, "AP, as ex-Muslim, what do you think as a key point to change Muslim minds?" Well, I would believe there's just so much variety in the Muslim community, so much variety that so many Muslims believe in different things and have different personalities, are interested in different things, which is why there is really not a uniform way to make Muslims reconsider Islam and leave Islam. But there are many different layers, many different fields that you can approach. I think one of the best approaches is still to directly analyze the Islamic scripture and Islamic logic, which I have mostly done on my channel. Dear Mufti Abu Layth, by the way, I've never focused on apostasy. But yeah, I'm preparing a video on the best arguments against Islam, by the way, since I was asked about it recently. The Keela89 said in a super chat, "How do I get in touch with you? I think I've found the ultimate scientific argument against Islam, which hasn't been covered previously. I'm currently very bad at getting back to emails, but because a lot has been going on, but you can always email me at theapostateprophet@gmail.com, and I will try to look at it and get back to you. I'm currently being overrun with positive and negative emails and messages, and it's hard for me to get back and to read everything, but I will try my best. I was never good at getting back. I'm very sorry about that, but I will try. Okay, before I go on and read the remaining super chats, I want to say very quickly, my conclusion about this whole thing with Mufti Abu Layth is I have always appreciated different unorthodox Muslim apologists, Muslims, and scholars, and as such, I've also sometimes, attended Mufti Abu Layth's live streams and have also left comments sometimes. And I told him I appreciate his work. I do. I appreciate people who want to change Islam and want to advance it into a proper direction, who want to better analyze Islam. Although after this, I'm not sure if Mufti Abu Layth is the proper person to actually philosophically deconstruct Islam. But his response to me is very strange, very shallow. It shows that he has a very simple lack of understanding of what I do, of what atheists do, of what religion is, of moral philosophy, of the debate. He clearly didn't watch the debate. He didn't watch the discussion, but he claimed that he did, which is very strange. I don't know, maybe he skimmed through it, he didn't really get it, but then he wanted to make a commentary on it. But hey, dear Mufti Abu Layth, if you want to comment on this, please do. If you want to have a talk with me yourself and talk about why I criticize Islam, why I, what my criticism of Islam is, why I think your Islamic belief is wrong and shallow, please get together with me, I can talk, and we can debate Islam. Or we can just friendly have a friendly conversation about Islam. I'm always ready to do that. So, greetings to Mufti Abu Layth. We're done with that topic. I will quickly look into some super chats, interact with everybody here, and then I will finally leave. This is way too long. I wanted to be here for an hour. I always say I wanted to be here for an hour, and then I'm here for like 2.5 hours. Manuel Diaz made a super chat and didn't add a comment. Thank you so much. I read that before. Mickey, I read that too. St. Miles said, for Mrs. AP, great lady. Thank you so much. I believe my wife also appreciates that very much. I don't know if she's busy right now, but maybe she's watching it. I don't know. But thank you so much. I appreciate that, St. Miles. Seriously, very, very great. Thank you. Chicken Jar made a super chat and said, it's like you're getting criticized by Mr. Khan in Citizen Khan, especially with that cricket reference. I have no idea what Citizen Khan is. I believe it's a movie, is it? If it's a good one, I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's a show, an Indian show. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very out of touch with Indian culture. Yeah. Mika Aiko said, sorry for mispronouncing names, said in the super chat, we need to use critical thinking when it comes to Islam. If critical voices won't be heard, there won't be any progress in Islam. Not everything in Islam we need to challenge. Not everything is perfect in Islam. We need to challenge it. Absolutely. Not everything is terrible about everything, and not everything is good about anything at all. So we should always be open to critically analyze and criticize everything. Definitely. Agreed. Thank you. Devon made a super chat and said, love you, AP. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Ari Wasserman made a super chat and said, hello, fellow holy prophet. Oh, because you're also a prophet member of the channel now? Awesome. Peace be upon us all. Why is Muhammad Hijab is a valiant warrior for the teachings of Islam if his last name is so girly? So why does Muhammad Hijab claim to be such a tough warrior when his last name is Hijab? I think that's not even his actual last name. I think his last name is spelled differently and maybe even pronounced differently. Like, I don't know. I don't want to make it public. But yeah, he kind of adjusts it for a profile picture and calls himself Muhammad Hijab. But man, I can't comment on his name. For a long time in my life, I thought my name was kind of my name. I didn't like my name. Then later I suddenly started liking it. I don't know why. The Cult Breaker made a super chat and said, we share a name except mine is spelled right, Rizvan. Right. Yeah, mine is spelled in Turkish. In Turkish, they don't spell Arabic or Persian names the right way. Sorry. Animal said in a super chat, without lies, Islam dies. Completely agreed. Dale Persuade made a super chat without comment. Thank you so much. Ari Wasserman made a super chat and said, take down the tweets, hijabi girl. Take down the tweets, Muhammad Hijab. Take down the tweets. Devin, super chat. Some people will listen when they are ready. Exactly. So that was, I believe, in reference to what the best way to approach Muslims is and to make them reconsider Islam. With some people, you just can really never get through. With some people, they will respond to mockery. Some people will respond to philosophy, to critical analysis of Islamic scripture, to all kinds of different things. So you never really know. But many people, you can attract the attention of many people who would otherwise not listen by being more assertive and more aggressive when you criticize Islam, which is why I prefer being sometimes more provocative. I don't believe that people will immediately change their minds about Islam when I'm more provocative, but I believe that someone will listen to me and will have something in their mind after they listen to my mockery. It will bother them, and they will come back to interacting with it. Even if they initially come back with some hostile response, eventually they may reconsider things and they may think differently. That happens a lot. And to be honest, I also think that I simply cannot respect Islam, and I want to show to everybody that I will not and cannot respect Islam. Johnny made a super chat and said, number one fan. Sorry, someone else already made a super chat and said number one fan, so you can't be both number one fans. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. I kind of... Anyway, let's not talk about it. Venkat Janjhiala made a super chat and said, "Hi, Mufti Apis. I believe atheists these days behave like any other Abrahamic religion. We are right, the rest are wrong. Good to know you have some refreshing views." Well, I don't believe that is necessarily an atheist matter. I believe that is a humanity matter. I believe that humans are just very often very tribalistic. I don't think this is an Abrahamic religion matter. I don't believe this is an atheism matter. I don't believe this is a Hinduism matter. I believe that humans generally have very tribalistic tendencies, tribalistic attitudes. And no matter if you believe in a certain religion or if you abandon that religion and believe in a secular worldview, people still often hold on to their tribalistic worldviews, which is why some atheists tend to be so exclusivist and so aggressive and want to make everyone think like them. I recently tweeted about that, how certain atheists in the atheist community in America tend to protect Islam while attacking Christianity all the time, for example. But really, this is not an atheism issue, it's a humanity issue. People have such a problem. And we need to stop pushing that blame onto everybody else, onto religions, onto non-religion. It's just humanity. We have this issue. Because we all want the world to follow what we think is right. We would all like to do that. And some of us are more assertive in that. I sound like a robot now. I've talked too much. Nick W. said in a super chat, "My Norton LifeLock Mozilla Firefox extension blocks your merge site. You should look into this. Someone is trying to cut your revenue stream." I don't know. I will look into that. It might be that something about my website was compromised, but I will look into that, okay? Thank you so much for telling me. AW made a super chat and said, "I think Mufti Abu Layth is trying to distance himself from you because he is seen by Salafis and others as being heretic and friendly with apostates. Keep it up." I thought about that too, to be very honest. I thought that he's trying to keep some distance with me and other ex-Muslims and critics of Islam because the Salafis and the the Islamists are being very hard against him. And maybe that's kind of part of his agenda. If so, that's very weak. But I don't want to make assumptions about him. I don't know. He makes enough about me. I will not return that. My wife, Mrs. Idemir, made a super chat and said, "This is a message to all of our wonderful supporters. You are giving us motivation and encouragement to keep going. Thank you all for your support." Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Yeah, that's basically all I want to say. My wife said, "This is a message to all of our wonderful supporters. You are giving us motivation and encouragement to keep going. Thank you all for your support." My wife is very supportive of what I'm doing. She believes that I'm doing something very, very valuable. She believes in my cause. She knows how strongly I feel about it. She knows how passionate I am about this stuff. So she's really always there, always supporting what I'm doing, always saying, "Hey, I'm so happy and so proud that you are doing this," and I really appreciate that. I'm really happy to have such a wife, such a person with me. Thank you so much, my wife. I'm using this public platform now to make a shout out to you. Thank you so much. Yeah, okay. I will be leaving. Thanks everybody for your support again, also from me. Don't forget to like the stream. That's how you can help the stream, how you can push it up, you can help with the algorithm. Recently, my videos have been dislike bombed because I ripped the Quran, and people from Indonesia stormed in to dislike every video that I make, which is a shame because I had such brilliant like-dislike ratios. But don't forget to leave a like. And thank you all so much for your support. I will be back very soon. They cannot stop me. I will be leaving. Okay, here I am. I was trying to look for my stream window. One more super chat. Nada Verse made a super chat and said, "We will discuss this Sahih Hadith. Will we discuss this Sahih Hadith? The worm grabbed onto Allah's loin and wouldn't let go until Allah made a promise to the loin." Oh, loin. You said loin. Okay. That was a typo here. I can talk about it. I may talk about it. I will look into it. It's right now. I need to go. My throat is dead. I am dead. Everybody's dead. And I don't want to keep people here for over 2 hours. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I will see you again Thank you very, very much. And as always, stay happy, stay well, and stay away from Islam.